year, there's a new energy starting, right? It's sort of a new chapter that is opening. So it's a moment that we look back. What did we do? What happened this year? And it's a moment that we look forward. What is going to happen? You're planning. What do I want to do? Who do I want to become? I don't know if many of you follow numerology. Some? Know about numerology? No one? Speculation. Oh. So in numerology they say January is number 1, right? It's the first month of the year. And 1 is like a number that has a starting energy. It's innovative. It's going forward. Also in astrology, they say, you know all about it. They have 2 zodiac signs in January, which is Capricorn. You Capricorn. Who is Capricorn here? Hey! And Aquarius. Who is Aquarius? He. Okay, 2. So they say the energy of Capricorn is like disciplined. It has responsibility and ambition. And Aquarius is like they are very original. They are independent and they're innovative. So these are like energies, all of them, like ambition, innovation, they push us forward. And most of us, we want to use this energy into the new year to do something with that. So what do? We make New Year's resolutions. So what do you think are the top 10 resolutions that are made on the 1st of January worldwide?
To lose weight.
To lose weight, yes. Some more? What do people normally do? Normal people. Stop smoking, yeah. Some more? Running, getting healthy, getting fit, yeah. Go to the gym. Gyms are overloaded on the 1st of January. So I looked up the list, and it's actually this. So, more Harinam, that's pretty, yeah. So eat healthier, exercise more, lose weight, spend more time with friends and family, reduce stress, manage finances better or save more money, learn something new, a new skill, reduce screen time, this is something from the past years, travel more and stop smoking. They're not in the right order, but these are like the top 10, right? But as devotees, we are so transcendental. We have different ones. I speculated a little bit. What do you think are possible devotees? Sorry?
The top.
The top?
What's the first?
Yeah.
Work on sadhana.
Sorry?
Work on sadhana.
Work on sadhana, yeah, like better japa, better.
More chanting.
More chanting. Mangalarti, yes.
More books.
More books, reading, distributing, yeah.
Every week to the temple.
Every week to the temple, yes. What did you say? You said something?
She said more reading.
More reading, yes. Yeah, so I speculated a little bit, and I came to those 10. Chant with more focus, read more of Srila Prabhupada's books, go to the Holy Dham, go to Vrindavan, rise early. Finish the Bhagavatam, finally! Or Charitamrita. Go on book distribution or on Harinam. Learn to play an instrument, right? Learn to play mridanga or kartals. Listen to more lectures of Srila Prabhupada. Be more humble. And follow the 4 regulative principles more strictly. Sorry?
Get initiation.
Get initiation, yeah, that's also beautiful. Yeah. We could say that maybe those are a little bit more important than the other 10, because the other 10, they were mostly about us, something that we want to get. But when we have resolutions that are focused on devotional service, when we have resolutions that are focused on devotional service, we are becoming an instrument of Krishna. We're becoming an instrument of God. And in that way, we're not just doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it to be an instrument of, a servant of, to be able to give to the whole world. So, yeah, actually, either if it's devotees or it's people out in the world, how many percent of the people do you think keep their resolutions till the end of the year?
1%.
1%?
10.
We don't have so much faith in humanity anymore. 10%? They say after 2 weeks, 20% of the people, they fail. So 1/4, they stop after 2 weeks. And then only 4 to 8% of the people, they follow through with their resolutions. So we should pump these numbers up a little bit, not just for the people in the world, but also for devotees. Because not only during the new year, but actually throughout the whole year, we would like to increase our sadhana, we would like to increase our bhakti. So I hope to share with you a little bit of inspiration on how we can keep that progress up during the year. And actually, it's quite hard, because what are you doing when you are busy with resolutions? You're trying to overcome your own conditioning. Actually, the success of your resolution is almost as dependent on how much can you resist your own conditioning. So mostly we start that new year with lots of energy, with some spark. This is what we want to do. There's some, what they call in Sanskrit, to make a fresh start, we need something called Preran. What? Prerana. Yeah. Prerana means, someone knows?
Inspiration.
Yeah. We need some sort of inspiration. That's always how it starts. And that's sort of a spark, we could say, like a small something that makes us begin and go forward. And that something is not, that spark is not something that we can really control. We see someone around us doing something, we hear something in a lecture, we see something on the street, and we get inspired. So that inspiration, it just comes to us, and that little spark, it makes us want to do something, go somewhere. But that inspiration, you could say, is just like a little lucifer with fire on it. It is a spark to start a bigger fire, but it cannot sustain warmth or heat or light in itself. You use that lucifer to light like a bigger fire. So what we need is something bigger. We need like firewood to make that fire burning and maintaining us. They have this nice thing. They say, inspiration starts moving you, but what is that thing that keeps moving you? What is it? Determination. Dedication. Where do they come from? Sorry? Yes. But where do those qualities come from? Which part of you?
Faith.
Faith? Yeah, conviction. A little bit deeper even.
Desire.
No. Intelligence. Buddhi. So inspiration is that little flame, that little spark, that's prerana. And intelligent buddhi, that's the one that keeps moving you, that maintains you, that maintains the fire. Because it's our intelligence that allows us to look back in retrospective and see, what was I doing before? Was that good or not? Did I make the right decision? Yes or no? And it's also the intelligence that makes us look forward and see, okay, if I don't keep this resolution, if I don't do this thing, how will my life look in the future? Or if I do it, then how will my life look? So it's the intelligence that sort of can determine, that can distinguish the things. So the intelligence is giving us the why. It's giving us the purpose. So the inspiration gives us the what. We want that. I want to do this. I'm going to chant 64 rounds every day. But the intelligence, the buddhi, is giving us the why, the purpose. Why do I actually want to do that? So a nice example to show this a little bit is of a child with the mom. So imagine a child is sick, and the mom sees, okay, this child needs some medicine. The child needs something to get better. So she prepares the medicine, she wants to give it to the child. What does the child do? No! Of course, the first thing the child is like, don't like the taste, I don't want to take anything, I don't feel good, leave me alone. It starts making a scene, right? Because the child doesn't want to take the medicine, it smells not nice. So the mom, she's able to stay really calm, right? Because she knows why the child needs to take this medicine. But the child is getting all crazy. So we can sort of compare this to us. The child is like our mind. And our mind is going crazy. The mind is going all directions because the mind is dependent on how we feel and on what we desire.
It's the other way.
So the mind, it goes a little bit like this. So if we try to focus our bhakti life, our spiritual life on the mind, then our spiritual life will also go like this, because that's the mind. In Bhagavad Gita 6:26 it says, the mind is flickering and unsteady. That's the nature of the mind. It will always be like that. That's just how it's built. Yeah. So those are two qualities. It will be unsteady, it will be flickering. So it will go like this, like the child. See something you don't like and go crazy. So our spiritual life will also go like that. So if we try to base our resolutions and our progress and our sadhana on that, then we will only chant when we feel like chanting. And that moment, I don't know if it will ever come by itself. Or we will only distribute a book when we feel like distributing a book. No. So what we want to do is we don't want to base our resolutions on the mind. We want to be like the mom, because the mom is the intelligence. The mom knows why she's giving the medicine to the child, and that the why is much stronger than the temporary feeling that the child has. So that's why she gives it, because the mind, or the intelligence is not dependent on feelings and desires like the mind. And therefore the intelligence is much more stable, much more calm. And that's what they write in the Bhagavad Gita, what I think it's Krishna, he says, the working senses are superior to dull matter. The mind is higher than the senses, and intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than intelligence. So we see that the intelligence, it's much higher than the mind, so it has control actually over the mind. But we have given our control away. We have sort of crowned the mind king. And that's a little bit of an awkward position. You could say, an example, if for instance you have a king and you have a civilian, normally it's the king, who has all the opulence, all the strength, all the control, and he says to the citizen, you do this, you do that, right? But what if that civilian, he would come to the king and starts demanding the king, you bow down to me? It's stupid. Everyone thinks like he's crazy, right? But that's what the mind is doing to us. It's taking the position of the king, whereas actually the intelligence is higher than the mind. So we have given that privilege to the mind, but for what? Because we are, a little bit suffering under it. So the deeper the resolution that we set goes, not just on the bodily level, not just on the mind level, but going deeper and deeper into the soul, then we have a much deeper foundation to go from, a much steadier foundation. So what we want to do is we want to make that intelligence strong. We want to revive it into its former glory. So we have 3 ways how we can do that, and hopefully that will give us the long time fuel, not just a spark, but like a long time fuel to create consistency in our sadhana and to create a discipline. So how can we do it? We have sort of 3 steps. First of all, to make the intelligence stronger, what do? Learn. Yeah, swadhyaya. Yeah, we study the scriptures, we make the intelligence stronger. And then to control the mind, we do discipline. Yes. How do we get the discipline? How do we practice? We practice the mind, we control the mind by chanting, for instance. Tapasya.
Cold shower.
Cold showers. That's the pasha, yeah. And then the third way is to bring that intelligence into our day-to-day lives. So I have found a little trick by, maybe you know him, Tony Robbins. You know him? Yeah, he has good stuff. So Tony Robbins, he has a nice way of putting in intelligence into our New Year's resolutions, or our resolutions to bring our bhakti up to a higher level. So if we look at resolutions, it's sort of twofold. Mostly we focus our resolutions on the action. We say we want to run every day so many kilometers. I want to eat healthier. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. I'm going to recite Srimad Bhagavatam every day, so many shlokas. So we put like a resolution as into what are we doing, an action. But what we often forget is to set also the why, the purpose. Why are we doing it? Because an action you perform with your body or with your mind, but the purpose behind it includes the intelligence. And that's what many people often forget, and that's why the resolutions, they sort of fade after some time, because you cannot keep up with the what, and your why is not strong enough. So an example is, for instance, if someone sets the resolution, I want to run 5 miles every day. That is their, thing they're going to do. So maybe the first day, yes, you go out, you got your new gear on that you got for Christmas, and you're going and you set all the routes, and going well, Second day, you're a little tired, you're feeling it in your calves, but you think, I'm doing it, right? So you go for it. And maybe this goes on for a week, but after that week, slowly you're getting tired, and your body's not used to it. But still you said, I'm going to do it every day. So at some moment, you cannot do it anymore. So you fail your resolution. You say, I'm going to stay in bed today. Right? So when you focus on the action, running those 5 miles, it's either you win or you lose. So it's like 50-50. But if you add the purpose, if you add the why,
Losing weight.
you can only win. Because maybe, you want to lose weight, but why do you want to lose weight? You want to be healthy. And why do you want to be healthy? To serve Krishna, yeah. Ideally, maybe people would say, I want to be healthy because then I can assist my children, I can help my family, and, I can be ready for them, can be there. So if you have that why, which is, I want to get healthy to help my family, my children, or to serve Krishna better, if you keep that, then you have suddenly 1,000 ways to get healthy, and not just one. Because when you only focus on the action, there was one way, and that was to run 5 miles. But if you focus on the purpose, suddenly there's 1,000 ways to execute that purpose. Because now, maybe you're tired one day, you cannot run, but you can drink a smoothie. And then you're working on your goal, you're working on your resolution just by drinking a smoothie. Or you can read a book about health or watch a documentary about health. And then you're still working on your resolution. Or maybe you're taking a nap. You think, today I really need a nap. And then you're also working on getting healthier just by taking a nap. Right? So in this way, she likes that. In this way, you can only win. If you focus on the purpose, you can only win. Because you have 1 minute to spare, you take an apple, and you got your resolution. Let's make it a little bit more.
Also more motivated to actually perform those actions. If
Yeah.
you're running, if you know why you're doing it, it becomes easier to do it. I suppose.
Yeah, you're actively bringing your intelligence into the
It's
action.
not a goal in itself.
Yeah. To make it a little bit more spiritual, because I don't know if everyone's going to run every day 5 miles. Let's say our resolution is, I want to listen to Prabhupada's lectures every day. Every day, one lecture Prabhupada. Then that's an action, right? I can listen to that lecture, and it's mostly like half an hour, 45 minutes. Maybe someday you don't have time. It's such a busy day, Mahatma Prabhu is visiting, you cannot have like 45 minutes to stop and watch that lecture. Or you're so tired after work, you don't feel like going deeply into philosophy. So again, if you focus on that action, then you can fail, or you can win. You can fulfill it. But why do you want to watch a lecture every day? Prabhupada.
To become more intelligent.
To become more intelligent. Yeah, I would say to make connection with Prabhupada, like to feel a deeper connection with him, and to get that intelligence maybe. But how can we make a connection with Prabhupada? Not just by listening a whole lecture, but how also can we do that?
Chanting.
To chant, yeah. To read. To read, yeah. If you don't have time, you read one paragraph. You made a deeper connection to Prabhupada.
Maybe to put on Prabhupada memories on YouTube.
Yeah, if you're eating, just put Prabhupada memories.
Pranama mantra.
To say the pranam mantra, yeah, or to just look at the picture, offer some incense. 1,000 ways suddenly to follow through with that resolution, and not just one way, which was to listen to the whole lecture. So by adding the purpose, we really open up all of possibilities. That's also what Prabhupada did. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave him the instruction, I want you to preach in English language. So Prabhupada, he could have done that, wrote a book, but he knew the purpose behind it, which was that his Guru Maharaj asked him to bring Krishna consciousness to every town and village. And because he was focused on the purpose and not just the action, he had 1,000 ways to expand Krishna consciousness. He was writing books, he was giving lectures, he was going on morning walks, he was flying all across the countries, he was on TV, he was recording songs, he was teaching people how to cook. Suddenly so many ways, and not just that one thing, write a book. So if we add that purpose, Keshava Swami said it so nicely, then we create a to-be list, and not just a to-do list. Yeah. So, yeah. So if we add the why, actually our quality goes up, and we also have sort of a support system for if we cannot make it one day to keep up with the what, then we still have the support system, we have other ways to do it. But of course, we want to set some standard somewhere. And then what happens? Then we get caught up in the web of our desires and our conditioning and our cravings, which go exactly the opposite direction of what we want. But there's one good thing about cravings and desires and lust inside of us. What is that? What is the one good thing about it?
It means you're alive.
Certainly. Yes. But the ghosts, they also have desires and cravings, and they're not in the body. The one good thing is they are temporary. Desires and cravings, and therefore lust, they're temporary. And we can use this quality of desires and cravings, which go exactly against what we want, in our advantage.
To resist, you mean you can resist them because you know they're only temporary?
No, you can use this quality in two ways. I'll show. Yeah. When you know that your desires and things that keep you from your purpose or keep you from your sadhana, if they are there, you can do two things. If you know that they're temporary, you can do two things. You can create an obstacle for what you don't want. And on the other hand, oh no, don't do it. You can facilitate what you do want. So first let's start with the obstacle. Lust or desires or cravings that go against what we want, they come in waves. So maybe I want to eat like Ayurvedic, I want to eat very healthy. But suddenly a desire comes within me, I want to eat the pizza. I need to have the pizza, right? Because that's my conditioning. So it comes, but eventually that will also pass, that desire. So if we have created an obstacle between me and my craving or my desire, then there is time in between. So for instance, I don't have pizza in my house, so I have to go in my car and have to drive to the shop. That creates time. And what does time do? Time makes that desire or that lust go down. And we regain our intelligence. Because what is happening? What is Gita? The Gita?
Yeah, there is one. Behind there is one, but it's a different one.
Ah, okay. No problem. So in the Gita, let's say 2:26, it says something about this. It's 2:62 and 63. Yeah. It says, while we're contemplating the senses, we get attached. When we get attached, we develop lust. So we develop that desire, that craving for it. And through lust, we get anger. And by anger, we get delusions. When delusions, we get bewilderment of our memory. When our memory is bewildered, our intelligence is gone. So to make the shortcut, if you have that desire, that craving, your intelligence is lost. If you take the steps in between out, you see that the one leads to the other. So once you have a desire or craving, then your intelligence is gone. So literally, you cannot make another decision at that moment. Then go for that, because you don't have the intelligence to make that decision. So if we put time, if we put an obstacle in between, that gives us time for that desire, that lust to sink, and for our intelligence to come back, to regain, and then to make a new decision. So, for instance, I gave the example for pizza. Then you need to drive to the shop. When you're driving to the shop, suddenly you're regaining your intelligence because there's time in between. You think, this is not really what I want, and you turn back, right? Or, for instance, you want to focus better on your japa, but you're constantly distracted by your phone. Then, when your phone is there, literally, you cannot, when the craving comes to check your messages, you cannot make another decision than to take your phone, because your intelligence is not there. And so, if we put the phone in another room, then we need to walk there, it gives us time, then intelligence is japa walk without phone. Then our intelligence comes up, and then we can make a different decision and think, no, this is not what I want, I keep sitting here. So that it creates time. And Keshava Swami said something really nice. He said, don't give up what you want most for what you want now. He said every brahmachari in the ashram in London, they had this on their locker. It's called, don't give up what you want most for what you want now. But on the other hand, we also want to facilitate what we do want. We want to change the landscape around us in a way that it facilitates what we do want, what our goal is. Because what the mind does, it takes the path of least resistance. The mind always takes path of least resistance. I was with my family, we went to Austria for holidays. And there was snow, it was quite high snow. So one day we took a hike, and my dad, he went forward, being the dad, and he was making a path in the snow, and my sister was behind him, so she was following in his footsteps, so that she didn't have to make a new path. And then I was walking behind them, and then my mom, everyone went into that path that my dad made, and that path was becoming deeper and deeper and deeper in the snow. And I'm sure that people who were walking, also other families, that they would take the same path, because then your shoes don't get wet, it's easier. So this same system is happening within the mind. The mind takes the path that you have walked before. That's default mode. When there are the connections within our brain that we often use, that's where most prana, life energy, is sent. And these passages are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, till at some point, you just, without thinking, go that way. So we have sort of a default. They had this experiment where they had a person sending them to the shop, and they say, okay, be very conscious. Choose a snack for your lunch break. Choose a snack. What did she choose? What did she choose? Say something.
Fried.
No. She chose, actually they did with more people, most of them chose something healthy, like bread or some salad or an apple or something like that. And then they sent people in while being on the phone, while calling. And while calling, they were wandering through the shops, seeking out a snack. Most of them took like a chocolate bar, Oreos, something unhealthy. And they found out that when you're unconscious of what you're doing, of the decisions you're making, you're falling into your conditioning. You're falling into the path that you created for you. So what we first want to do is we want to become conscious, and we have to take the effort to swap the conditioning. It's like you have to take charge of your own conditioning. If you know the mechanism behind the conditioning, you can change it. It's like, Instagram, when you watch, when there was the Olympic Games, and you saw something passing by, like the opening of the Olympics, and you looked at it for like a minute, then the AI behind Instagram, they think, this is something she likes. Next time she comes online, I'll give her 2 of these videos. And then you think, oh, that's interesting, you know, and you again watch. And then the AI thinks, you know what? I'm going to give her 5 more of those because that's what she likes. And before you know it, your whole timeline is full of Olympic Games and Paris and all of that. So if you're smart, you can use that mechanism in your advantage. So now you spend, for instance, you take the time, the effort to take 10 minutes of your day to only click on pictures of Krishna. To go to all kinds of accounts with Krishna, with Prabhupada, with quotes, with Kate Maswari, with and you click on them and you like them, and before you know it, your whole timeline is full of Krishna. So you've used you've used the AI to work in your advantage. And similarly, we can do that with our own mind. It takes some effort, it takes a little bit of time, but if we again try to reprogram ourselves in that way, we make a different default decision. But to do that, we need to create the decision around us that we want to be the easiest. So if you want to stop smoking, then you don't need to have like lots of cigarettes within grasp. Or if you want to eat healthy, then make sure that your fridge is full of healthy stuff. Right? So, for instance, an example, if we want to wake up early, first we say, why do I want to wake up early? I want to wake up early because the first thing I want to do when I wake up is to make a spiritual connection, to settle in my spiritual identity. First you get the purpose with the resolution. Then you create an obstacle between you and what is distracting you. For instance, your phone. Because when you wake up, you take your phone, half an hour gone. So phone in the other room. And then you facilitate what you do want. So what will help you to wake up? I don't know if you have these sun simulator lights. Do you know these?
Philips wake up light.
Yeah, also other brands. Some advertisement here. Yeah. So you have these lights that simulate the sun going up. And then you rise, not by and you say, no, you wake up because your senses are awakened by the sun naturally, and you wake up naturally. And then it's much easier to wake up. So on one side you create an obstacle, what you don't want, you create time, and you facilitate what you do want. Similarly, if you want, for instance, better japa, you want to focus more on your japa. Why do you want to focus more on your japa? To have a deeper connection with Krishna. What is the obstacle you have? Again, phone. Phone is almost always the obstacle. So you put that app, minimalist phone, for instance. Do you know this? It's an app that you can put, and you can block certain apps on your phone for a certain amount of time, so you cannot physically open them. And that's the obstacle. And then, what can you do to facilitate what you do want to create better japa? For instance, read before you, or take a japa card of Mahatma Prabhu. Japa affirmation. So, all these things, they take time. Right? Even Krishna says, you can subdue the mind, but it takes time. It takes practice and detachment and patience. And often we are too impatient for that. We don't see any change within ourselves. When I was with my family in Austria, I didn't see my little nephew, who's a baby of 8 months, for some weeks. So I said, oh my God, he grew so much, you know, he suddenly has so much hair, and he can roll over now, and he can say one word, and pop, you know. And my sister's like, really? I didn't see those changes. Right? Because she's every day with the baby, that progress goes so subtle that she doesn't see that it's changing. But because you see the child with intervals, then suddenly you can see the progress. And this is the same with us. We are constantly with our own minds. So we don't see when we're making progress, and we're getting like dejected because of it. But yeah, it takes patience. If we look back now to the beginning of our Krishna consciousness and to ourselves now, hopefully we do see some change. But there's one last thing which is important, and that is, you already saw it
Mercy.
That's also important.
Tell us.
Yeah. Oh,
He knows.
bam! Hint.
Jump.
No. What?
Yoga.
Courage.
I showed you guys. Not a hint.
Harinam.
No. This is an example.
Sangha.
Yeah, Sadhu Sangha. Prabhupada said the association of devotees is key to progress in Krishna consciousness. Without their association, spiritual progress is very difficult. Yeah. So in order to keep our resolutions, we need to have the right people around us. Because the people we surround ourselves with, they become part of us. Their habits, they like slip into us too. So you know this poster?
Sangha, Seva and Sana. The three S's.
They're all important.
I'm sorry.
So you see here the Bhakti Lata, so the progress of Bhakti from beginning within the heart, a little bit of faith, going all the way up to Prema, to the blossoming of the flower with the purest love you can get for Krishna. And we see, as the leaves, we see all these different stages of distraction, of pulling all the dirty things outside of your heart, anarthas, cleansing up, this, that, and then getting some taste. Like, these are all different stages. But what connects the beginning, the end, and all these leaves with each other? That's the stem. And what is written inside the stem? You know?
Can't read it.
No. So the stem, inside the stem is written constantly Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. From the beginning till the end. Even in the highest form of bhav, there's Sadhu Sangha. Because it's that Sadhu Sangha which is so powerful that it is keeping us on the right track or pulling us off. And that's also so with desires. We have two types of desires. I don't know if you heard about this. I heard it this morning from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. You have linear desires and triangular desires. Someone knows what linear desires are?
From A to B.
Yeah, so what does it mean in terms of desires?
No.
It means that you see something and then you feel like it is triggering you. So just to see, like when I see pizza, it's triggering me. I don't need anything else. Just to see it, it's triggering me, right? But triangular desires, it is that you see something, it's not so triggering to you. But you see other people engage with that thing, that is triggering you. And then you want that. So they had, for instance, this computer game. And they said to people, look, this is our new game. Would you like to have it? And these people were like, not really. I don't have money for this. I don't really think this is something for me. And then they made people walk through a room where everyone was playing this game and they were having fun and it was amazing. And then by the end they said, do you want this game? And everyone, almost 99% of people said, yes, I want to have it. So these are triangular desires. This is what Sadhu Sangha does. When we see someone enjoying something, that creates an illusion around that object that is something that I also need and want. And that's why also, for instance, Harinam or Kirtan is so important. Because then people see, maybe they're not so attracted when you give them a card and they think, what is this? Okay, great. The object is not directly speaking to them. But when they see other people enjoying that same object, enjoying the mantra, then they get a triangular desire. Then they think, I want that, I want to have the happiness. And that's why Kirtan together, and some Kirtan on the street is so powerful. So what triangular desires do is they create an illusion around an object or an expectation. Yeah.
But for Harinam, that's not an illusion, isn't it?
No, but this is something spiritual. But if you have that pizza, then no, maybe not pizza. I'm too attached to the pizza. What?
Like a pulling, there's a pulling comes.
Yeah, like if you see a perfume, it's not that it's the greatest smell you've ever smelled, but because it has this illusion around it, like, oh my God, that person is using it, and this person, and they say that, Axe when someone sprays Axe, all the women come to you, right? Because there's an illusion around that object created. Then you want to have that. So, what we want to do is actually we want to break that illusion around the object. And we do that, how? How do we break an illusion?
Oh, knowledge.
Knowledge? How do we get knowledge?
Chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, breathing.
Reading, yeah. We trigger our intelligence. And that's also how we started, right? And that's why we want to give people not just some prashadam or some good experience, but we also need to give them intelligence. That's why we need to distribute also books. We need to give them a form that they can train their intelligence, because that's where we started today, and that's where we end. That's what breaks the illusion, and it gives you purpose. So that's a little bit of what I wanted to share with you today. I wish you the best of luck with the resolutions of the new year. Now they cannot fail. So hopefully we pump the numbers, the percentages up a little bit. So if you want to add something maybe, or share an insight, or some correction, please do. We have 10 minutes.
What is a triangle?
Triangle?
Yes.
Driehoek.
I'm just...
Oh.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have a resolution?
What?
Ignite our intelligence with your resolution or resolution?
What?
Can you inspire or ignite our intelligence with your example of a resolution you have?
I have a whole list. Do you want to hear the whats or the whys or both?
Better wise.
Let's do both.
Whys. I think, in Krishna consciousness, our whys are very clear. We want to come back to our soul. We want to experience the nectar of our soul, and we want to experience the nectar in connection with Krishna, the Supreme Soul. So I think every single action that we perform with bhakti, with Krishna consciousness, is leading us there. So that's the biggest why that we can have with everyone. So I think my biggest resolution this year is to have a strong morning program. So I made a list of from this hour to that I want to do this because I want to start the day with all the spiritual duties and not run behind it all day. Oh, I need a few more rounds. Oh, I wanted to read, and I feel like I'm constantly running behind what I want. So if I place that first, then it will give me a lot of calm during the rest of the day to just do the other things, because the most important thing is done. So that's my resolution. Yes.
Yeah, at a certain point, I was reminded of this nice metaphor that makes it easy for us to understand the relationship between mind and intelligence. It's the metaphor of the chariot, the coach. Sometimes it is described that we are the soul, we are the passenger in a coach, and the intelligence is driving the coach, ideally, and the horses are at the other end of the line. They are the senses, and the cords by which the charioteer controls the horses, it's the mind. If the driver, the intelligence, is not in control, then the horses will pull the coach anywhere, depending on what the horses want. And that's not good, because then we will not arrive, and we might even get off the road, and the horses are quite crazy. But on the other hand, if the driver pulls the course too strong, then the horses will protest. So it's a kind of balance we have to find. But still, ultimately, the driver has to be in control. And I think that's a nice way of understanding that relationship between mind and intelligence.
Beautiful.
You can add a little bit more to it, but I don't know.
No,
if
it's perfect. Yeah, it's in Gita, the picture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In one of the pictures.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice. Other things? What are some resolutions you have?
Oops.
Ooh! We have a few more days. 2 more days. it's good to have, you know. Maybe you think, oh, I'm devotee, I'm not going with this worldliness of resolution. But the thing is, as devotees, we need to have even more resolutions. We need to be even stronger. Every month we should have resolutions, because we want to grow on our path to bhakti. We don't want to just go with, I always did it like this, always go. How can we grow? You know, we have only one lifetime. We have just short span of time left. We don't know how long. Maybe tomorrow you get a car accident and then it's gone. So it's best to have a plan for yourself. It's a gift for yourself to give yourself a plan, give yourself a way to go forward, to come back to your heart, to your soul, to Krishna. Vrat, yeah, because we do it in Kartik. We do it in Kartik, but why not every month Kartik? Every year Kartik.
Reminds
the whole
me,
year.
There's a chess play. I like to play chess, and there's a good advice, a well-known advice given by a very famous chess player. He said, "You better have a bad plan than no plan."
Yeah, that's right.
If you play games of chess, because you have no plan, I mean, it's totally unclear where you're going.
Yeah.
With a bad plan, you at least have a plan.
Yes.
And you can make some. There is some logic in the steps that you take.
Yeah. And what is with
Of course, it's better to have a good plan also.
Yes. that's the quote of Krishna Swami when he said, "Don't give up what you want most for what you want now." But if you don't know what you want most, then there's not even a battle to fight. What you want now will always win, because there's no most that you know to fight for. And what's happening often, I feel sometimes in the devotee community, is that ROI is constantly being given through the philosophy, but then the action becomes a little looser. Of course, we have 4 rules and regulations, but we can add to those little bits. Yeah?
Yeah, I had the first quote of Mahatma Prabhu who said in one class, if you're praying for, you should be praying for some things. If you don't pray for anything, if you have nothing to pray for, then I guess you're going nowhere. He said. That's also like a myth. But I have a personal question.
Oh.
The thing is, we've been here many lives, many years, even in association of devotees. Some of us have been many years. We've tried these things, but we haven't been as successful as we wanted to be. So maybe we tiptoe around. It's like, oh no, I'm not going to do that again, because if I don't make it, then I will be guilty, feel guilty. So do you have any advice how we can deal with our own guilt?
Well, I feel like adding the why and taking that as a priority, that will open up all those ways, right? Like we said in the beginning, if you cannot make it to get to do the lecture every day or keep your vrat, that's action every day, but still you focus on the purpose, then even reading one line is success. So even listening to 1 minute of the class is success. Even looking at Prabhupada's picture and saying Hare Krishna Prabhupada is success. So I don't think, if we focus on the action, that will really make us like this, but if we focus on the purpose, it will do that. And if we do this, then there's failure or success, and then there's guilt when you fail. But if there's purpose, then there's so many ways. There's no guilt, because there's no failure.
Can I ask a question?
Nice.
Oh, so a question about your question I have.
What if somehow or other we get trapped in this guilt, or we think, well, that's nice for her, but like we're still a little bit like we can't really start, because we
guilt
just, like,
that
trapped with this guilt.
Guilt that brings you away from Krishna is sense gratification. Guilt that brings you closer to Krishna is inducive for Krishna consciousness. It's like repentance.
It's like self-pity and all that.
Yes.
Okay, I rest my case.
I was just trying to get a deeper understanding of your question. Do you mean that this feeling of guilt makes you avoid certain things, that you push away certain things to avoid the feeling of guilt?
Things that, for example, I can very personally, but we tried. I tried many years, many things, and some have worked and some did not. And so it's like I know it would be good for me to chant Bhagavad Gita chapter every day, but I haven't really committed to it, and I'm not even trying it now at this moment. And she's doing it. I hear you, and often you speak about it, you do it. So I think, like, why don't
Maybe
I do it?
a nice
But
thing-
it feels, yeah.
Which
And
I
you
heard,
compare yourself with someone else,
Yeah,
and that
because
makes
it's
you feel guilty.
inspiring, you know. But then, yeah, I feel.
maybe that's good guilt because it's bringing you, it's making you not feel comfortable anymore with your own comfort zone and your conditioning. So it makes you maybe step out. But a nice thing, if we want to introduce something new to our life, it's good to glue it to something we're always doing, like a habit. Like you need to shower every day. So before you shower, do that thing, or right after you shower. So when you connect it to something you are already doing every day, then it's easier.
To implement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Conditioning, actually positive conditioning.
We're fighting our own conditioning.
No, but this is a positive conditioning.
Yeah, yeah,
That you connect two things. And
yeah.
healthy. If you connect something healthy with something else you don't do, then
Tricky your mind.
Yes.
Tricky your mind.
Yeah, maybe last one?
It's a nice example of Srila Prabhupada because he changed, he worked a lot, so he changed 4 rounds before eating, four times a day. So also he worked.
Yeah.
He could change
Keep it up.
16 rounds.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What you said just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Prabhupada did it. He glued his chanting with the eating, and then you have to chant because you have to eat. Yeah. Okay. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Good luck.
Citralekha Mataji.